What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we're finally going to be getting started on the suspension here for the Tahoe. As I told you guys in my last video, we are going to be leveling out the truck. I know a lot of you guys were commenting on my last video saying I should just drop it, you know, it would look better dropped. Don't get me wrong, I do like drop Tahoes, but in reality, you guys know I have a drop Sierra already, and it's probably going to be going lower here pretty soon. I'll talk more about it here in another video. But, you know, I don't have no use for two lowered vehicles. So, I bought this truck to daily drive. Okay, let's call it an SUV, because I know people are going to say it's not a truck, it's an SUV. So I bought this SUV to daily drive it, you know, get me from point A to point B. But at the same time, if I want to tow something with it, I can tow something with it. I do have a trailer. I do have, you know, ATVs and stuff like that. So I do want to be able to pull that, because I can't do that with my white truck. So that's the reason why I want to level it out, because if I lower it, it's probably not going to be able to get me through rough terrain if I have to. You know, I'm not saying, you know, it ain't a four-wheel drive, but, you know, I want to be able to go places where my white truck can't go. So hope that makes sense for you guys. So anyways, I did purchase a 3-inch leveling kit off Amazon. It's 3 inches in the front, 3 inches in the rear. Also went ahead and ordered some lift spindles for it, 3-inch lift spindles. So the only thing I've got so far is the lift spindle, so we're going to go ahead and install that. So let me show you what we got. Alright, so these are the only parts I have right now. The leveling kit is still on its way. But anyways, these are 3-inch lift spindles from Amazon. I paid around 170 bucks for them. So, you guys know me. I always try to find the cheapest part. Although, I do look at the reviews and make sure, you know, people rated them pretty good. So, these have pretty good ratings on it. So, I went ahead and, you know, gave them a shot. So, I'll be providing the link down to all the parts I'll be using, though, down in the description below. So, any part you guys are interested in, just go check out the link. But now, let's get started on measuring the truck and see where it stands right now. Alright, so we're going to be measuring the driver's side first. Tape measure all the way down to the ground and right in the center of the wheel. So up to the fender, from the ground to the fender is 37 inches, give or take, let's just say 37. So for the rear, the same thing, right in the center of the wheel, all the way down to the ground, up to the top, a little bit over 36. Let's go 36 and a quarter. So, alright guys, so this is only if you're doing the lift spindle at the same time with the lift keys and the, you know, rear spacer for the springs. But if you're not, you know, you can skip this process. But if you are doing the lift spindles as well, super easy to take off. You got an 18 mil nut right here holding on the tie rod end. You got an 18 mil holding the upper control arm. Down here you got a 15/16, and for the brake caliper you got two 18 mils holding it on. Back there, you won't be able to see them, but you know, they're somewhere back here. Only two bolts holding it on. And then you got 10 millimeter here and a 10 millimeter up here. So once you get all those loose, or most of them taken off, we'll go from there. Before you guys remove the whole, you know, spindle assembly, you do want to loosen up your wheel hub here, wheel bearing, whatever you want to call it. If you don't, it's going to be really hard to do it outside, so you might as well do it now. Loosen up the 3 bolts that are holding on this wheel bearing, and you know, as you can see, mine's already loose. So it's easier to do it now than later when it's outside. All right, once you got your 3 bolts out, it should come off like that. Just set it down. Now, just loosen up all 3 bolts holding on the spindle, which is the tie rod end, upper control arm, and the lower one. So, in order to get this off, you just want to smack the side of the spindle, not the actual tie rod end. And, you know, you want to leave your nut on there, somewhat started, just because you don't want to hit those threads, because if you do, you're pretty much fucked. And you will need to replace your tie rod end. So, let's give it a try. Just like that. That one's off. Let's do the top one now. Alright, so there's your stock spindle, the stock control arm. And that's what she looks like right now. So I was just gonna press a new ball joint in. As you can see, I already got the old one off. But after looking over the control arm, I noticed those bushings on the side right there are pretty worn out, and they don't look so good. So I just went ahead and ordered a new control arm, and you know, it comes with everything: new ball joint, new bushings, everything already in there. But honestly, if you guys are looking to save a little bit of money, you're better off buying, you know, the ball joint and those bushings on the side separately. It's a lot more cheaper that way, but it is time consuming, and I don't have all that time right now, so I just went ahead and bought a new one, like I said. Alright, so as you can see, we got everything put back together now, like completely, I guess. Although, if you're doing a spindle and torsion keys lift, you are going to run into some problems. And I haven't even installed the keys yet, and I already ran into some problems. So, first, the main thing, these lines right here, they're a little stretched out. You can see there's the ABS line, I think. And I couldn't mount it up in the same spot, so I did have to zip tie it. The same thing with this brake line. I kind of had to zip tie just for now. The brake line bracket, the one that's right, usually the one that mounts up right here, that one has a mounting spot back here behind the spindle. That one's cool. But this one right here, they didn't want to go in the same spot. It was just too stretched out. I couldn't get it, you know, to bolt up. So maybe later on we're gonna have to get some custom brake lines made. But right now I'm just trying to get it going. All right, and here, this is the leveling kit I decided to go with. It's called KYX. Bought it off eBay. So we'll see how good it does. I mean, you get what you pay for, but you know, in this case, I'm trying to save a little bit of money while making the truck look good. So we're gonna give it a try. Worst case that can happen, you know, it won't work, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. Either way, just wanted to show you guys, you know, side-by-side comparison of the torsion keys. So here we got the stock one, obviously. Oh, and these are 3-inch blocks, by the way. So these are for the rear, and I should give it 3 inches. And as well with the keys, they're 3 inches. Although I think they're adjustable. You can adjust them. But anyways, here's the keys side by side, stock one, aftermarket one. All right, so here we got the passenger key. And driver's side's already off. As you can see over there's nothing. So it does make it much easier if you got all the weight off the front. You got the wheels off like I do there. I'm still waiting on some parts, so kind of just a waiting game now. So back to this. So for this, you're gonna need an 18 mil socket. Take that off. So what you want to do is take it off. Then you're going to want to get your tool to push up on this key, because these do have a lot of, you know, torque behind them. So just be careful though. So 18 mil, we're going to take that off first, and then we're going to push this up, and then we're going to slide this little pin out right there. So alright, so now we're going to go ahead and install our keys. So it's not too bad. Just gotta find the right way the key wants to go in. There we go. So we got it right there. So now we're gonna go ahead and start a clamp, and you gotta push this up, and then enough to where, you know, you can slide this piece right here like that. But you know, we got a long ways for that, so let's go ahead and do it. So obviously I didn't have time to rent the tool. I know they rented at O'Reilly's. I didn't have time to go rent one, and I know I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for doing it this way, but you know, it is what it is. Just be careful if you're gonna do it this way. Alright, so as you guys saw, it's simple to put on. You just gotta find the right location for the bar here to go inside the key. And yeah, I know I didn't use the right tool. Like I said, sometimes you just gotta, you know, do it with what you got. And as you guys see, it worked out just fine. Even if you have another type of C-clamp, something you can use impact on, probably be a lot easier. Mine was just the old school, you know, just turn it by hand ones. But we got the job done, so now we're gonna go over to the other side and do the same thing. And then I think we should be able to put on the wheels and see where it stands. Alright, so the truck is finally back on the ground. So keep in mind, we've only done the front of the leveling kit. We haven't even touched the back. So for those of you guys worried that the truck is squatted, it is squatted just for now. Although I am going to get started in the rear here pretty soon. Some people will call it, I guess, tooted. If you guys don't know what that is, pretty much where people just lift up the front of the truck and leave the back alone. But just wanted to show you guys how much clearance we got off the ground now. Bumper sits pretty high. I mean, I know the video probably does no justice, but you can see there we got a big gap between the tire and the fender now. So now I'm gonna go ahead and get started on the rear. We gotta get our coil spacer to go underneath that spring right there. So I've kind of been looking it over, and I looked at a few videos on YouTube. So the best one I found, the way he does it, is he just removes this shock and the sway bar link, and then there's a brake line that leads to the differential. Got to take that off, just a single bolt, and that should give us enough room for this rear end to kind of kink over a little bit, and we should be able to slide that spacer in there. So I'm gonna give that a try and see if we can do it. Worst case, we'll probably have to rent a spring compressor and, you know, compress that spring while we get our spacer in there, but I'm not really trying to do all that, so let's give this a try. Alright, so as you guys probably saw in the time lapse, sway bars unhooked. I removed the whole shock strut assembly, and disconnected the brake line right there at the rear end. Also disconnected this bracket right there for the brake line. Just didn't want to risk it, but as you can see, the rear end dropped quite a bit, but I'm still struggling to get the spacer in there. I'm maybe, I don't know, maybe even quarter inch from getting it in there, but it looks like I'm gonna need some help, so I'm gonna call the wife right now, have her push down on this rear end so I can kind of tilt this way and I can get that in there, because it's almost there. But then again, you know, these are 3-inch spacers, so maybe if you go with something smaller, you probably won't struggle like I am. But like I said, it's not that bad. Alright, so we got the spacers in. Both of them are on. You can see the other one over there, kind of, sort of. But yeah, it wasn't too bad. But you probably will need 2 people if you're doing a 3-inch one. Like I said, you do gotta push this rear end down a little bit more just to get that 3-inch spacer in there. But other than that, I mean, fairly simple. So now, we're gonna go and install these shock spacers, strut spacer. So these are for the rear. When you buy them, you do got to make sure, you know, these are meant for the rear, because most of the time when you look for them, only the front ones pop up, and if you don't realize it, you buy the wrong ones. You know, they ain't gonna fit, or I don't know if they will, but I know these are different compared to the front ones. Oh, there goes the paint. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and install those, and then we should be able to pick up the rear end with the jack and bolt everything back up. Alright guys, so this is what the truck ended up looking like after the leveling kit install. So keep in mind, 3-inch lift spindles up front, with 3-inch leveling keys, but the leveling keys, I don't have them maxed out. I actually have them pushed down all the way, and the keys are only giving me an inch of lift. So in reality, if I wanted to, I can go up 2 more inches from where it is now, because the way I have it set up right now, I only gained 4 inches right there. So, and you can see it does have a little squat to it, which I'm perfectly fine with it. I mean, it's not too bad. I guess we'll just call it the Cali lean. But yeah, that's what it looks like. So out back, we do have the 3-inch coil spacers. And if you ask me, it's not too bad. And it rides really smooth. It's not too bad, as people, you know, would say it is. I know a lot of people don't like using the shock extenders, but you know, in reality, it really does help you out. It doesn't feel bumpy at all. But then again, like I said, my keys are not maxed out at all. I still have 2 more inches to go higher if I wanted to. So it's definitely worth the money. I mean, if you're looking to save a little bit of money, leveling kit's the way to go. Like I said, my ride's not bumpy at all. It almost feels like it's stock. So I would definitely recommend it for anyone looking to get, you know, their Tahoe or Yukon off the ground. So not bad. All right, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. I know it was super long, so I'm gonna try to keep this short. So just wanted to show you guys what pretty much a 3-inch leveling kit gets you. Keep in mind, we do have 3-inch spindles up front, lift spindles. So the way I have it set up right now is I'm 4 inches in the front higher than what I was, and 3 in the rear. So when I first set the truck down, after I got done with everything, I had the keys kind of maxed out. I want to say 1/2 inch before maxing them out, and the truck was sitting like, it was bad. It was bad. So I did have to mess around with that. I had to adjust the keys, bring them down lower. That way I'm not lifted so, you know, high up front. And you know, that's what we got. Pretty much my keys are bottomed out, but not. I don't know if I can explain this. They're bottomed out towards the bottom. I mean, I can't go any lower. They're not maxed out, because if I was maxed out, the truck would be, you know, it would be leaning bad. But I actually uncranked them, I guess you can say, and that's the max I was able to go. So it does have a little bit of, you know, I guess Cali lean, they would say. So I'm perfectly fine with that though, because like I said, when I first lowered it, it was bad. I mean, it was 6 up front and 3 in the rear, so you can imagine how bad it was. So anyways, we are going to be, you know, going higher in the rear pretty soon. Don't know when, but we are going to be going higher. So you know, we'll crank up the keys when we do, and you know, like I said, we got 2 more inches of travel. So yeah, all the parts I use though, I will be providing down the link below, and you guys can go check them out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. Catch you guys in the next one.